Match.com for Harvard.
Can I continue with my deposition?
You know, you really don't need a forensics team to get to the bottom of this. If you guys were the inventors of Facebook, you'd have invented Facebook.
Actor Jesse Eisenberg received an Academy Award nomination for his performance in The Social Network. He's just received another Oscar nod for the film A Real Pain, a movie he wrote, directed, and stars in. Tracy Smith launches this year's Sunday Morning Look Ahead to the Oscars.
So can you appreciate a good Jewish deli?
I can.
We'll tell you up front. Actor, director, writer Jesse Eisenberg is a different kind of movie star.
Hi, how are you? Can we get a slice of the babka chocolate?
We joined him at the legendary Cantor's Deli in Los Angeles and shared some chocolate babka.
Okay, so.
Oh, fantastic.
With a dill pickle chaser.
This is the real test. All right, yeah. It's great.
I love the pickle and babka combination, excuse me.
I know.
Okay, it was a little unusual.
I have to do the pickle and babka combination here.
But for Jesse Eisenberg, it had already been a pretty unusual day.
And for original screenplay, the nominees are...
Just a few hours earlier, this happened.
A Real Pain, written by Jesse Eisenberg.
It was his second Oscar nod, and he was mortified.
Are you able to enjoy moments like this?
Oh, no, I'm not really wired to enjoy praise. I don't know why. I think it just triggers some guilt response in my brain, and I try to find something to be miserable about. But I'll tell you what I do love. I love actually doing my job. I feel so lucky that I found something I like to do.
At the moment, his job is to promote the film he wrote, directed, and starred in, A Real Pain, co-starring Kieran Culkin.
Davers and I are cousins. We were born 3 weeks apart, which is kind of nuts.
Yes.
The film is about two cousins who travel to Poland to see their ancestral home and visit the actual home of their late grandmother, who barely survived the Holocaust.
We shouldn't have to pay for train tickets in Poland. This is our country.
No, it's not. It was our country. They kicked us out because they thought we were cheap.
The film started out as a buddy movie about a trip to Mongolia, but as he was writing the script, Eisenberg got stuck.
Benji, maybe she wants to be alone.
No one wants to be alone, Dave. Okay, I'm gonna check it out.
Until inspiration literally popped up on his computer.
I was 30 pages into the script, and something was missing. I knew the script was not going well. And so I'm kind of banging my head against the keyboard, and an ad pops up online for Auschwitz tours, and then in parentheses, with lunch. And I was like, Auschwitz tours with lunch? That's the strangest pairing of 4 words I've ever seen. And once I saw that, and once I read that brochure, I was like, oh, that's the movie. That is so interesting. I was trying to deal with these two characters who are both kind of in pain in their own ways.
Dude, we are Jews on a train in Poland. Think about it.
Benji? Benji?
I mean, does no one else see the irony here?
Jesus, Benji,
eating fancy food and sitting up here when 80 years ago we would have been herded into the backs of these things like cattle.
Jesse Eisenberg has had those same thoughts. He is himself of Polish lineage, and he has relatives who were victims of the Holocaust.
What were the questions you were trying to address?
I come from a family who survived the war, a lot of cousins, aunts, and uncles who didn't, and yet I walk around New York City kind of miserable. I'm not a happy person. I'm not asking for pity or anything. I'm just recognizing objectively I'm not a happy person. And yet I come from people who survived through miracles. Intellectually, I think I should be waking up every morning, kissing the dirt that I'm here by virtue of 1,000 miracles. And instead, I walk around, I'm like, oh my God, what am I gonna do today? Oh my God, I shouldn't drink a coffee because then I'll peak at noon. And so I'm constantly trying to reconcile my fortunate life with how I feel about things, and my forebears' very unfortunate lives and how they appreciated things. And that's what this movie is kind of focusing on. Did you not see how nervous I was?
No, I did. I just thought that was you.
It seems he's been feeling that same anxiety all his life. Raised in New Jersey, Jesse Eisenberg was, by his own admission, a sad kid who was uncomfortable at school and took refuge in acting. By 2010, he'd made a name for himself in Hollywood with roles like Facebook founder Mark Zuckerberg in The Social Network.
You have part of my attention. You have the minimum amount. The rest of my attention is back at the offices of Facebook, where my colleagues and I are doing things that no one in this room, including and especially your clients, are intellectually or creatively capable of doing.
Did I adequately answer your condescending question?
The part earned him an Oscar nod and the juice to branch out into writing and directing. But when COVID shut down the film industry in 2020, Eisenberg and his wife, Anna Strout, moved back to her native Indiana and spent their days volunteering at her mom's domestic violence shelter in Bloomington.
Yeah, I was just volunteering every day at the shelter. It sounds weird to say this, and I don't mean this for any kind of, it was like the happiest time of my life. Like I was painting walls and fixing garbage disposals, and I just loved it so much. I loved being able to like accomplish something where there was no like critique of it. You know what I mean?
It makes total sense. You fix the garbage disposal's fixed. End of it.
Exactly. And what have I been telling you all night? The closer you look, the less you see.
But of all the roles he's played, on screen and off, he says this one, the confident illusionist in the Now You See Me movie franchise, is the most challenging because it's absolutely nothing like him.
Because no matter what you think you might know, we will always be 1 step, 3 steps, 7 steps ahead of you. And just when you think you're catching up, that's when we'll be right behind you.
Just did the third Now You See Me, and it's such a blast and it's such a challenge because I'm doing something that's like the exact opposite of my psychology. And it's the only time I ever walk away thinking, I did a good job today. But that's because my character thinks that they're doing well. And they're Hollywood movies and they're really fun. But like for me, it's been a kind of like a therapy.
Does that confidence linger at all past the shoots?
Yes, it will linger through dinner. Once I get on set and I'm in those clothes and I'm speaking the way that they've written for me, it's like I stand up straight. I'm like an inch taller. It's amazing.
That's great.
I can make eye contact with my father. You know? The third generation lives in their mother's basement and smokes pot all day. I mean,
You'd think the success of A Real Pain would give Eisenberg some swagger. His movie also snagged Kieran Culkin an Oscar nomination for Best Supporting Actor.
I got to pee. I'm gonna go to the bathroom. I'll get that.
Are you a pickle fan?
huge.
Yeah.
Yep.
But like the babka and pickles at Cantor's, Jesse Eisenberg can't seem to enjoy the sweet without just a little bit of sour.
Is there a part of you that finds this whole experience with the way that A Real Pain has been received kind of unreal, that at some moment you're going to wake up?
Oh, yeah. I assume a piano is going to fall on my head every day because I feel like I'm so lucky. And like the way my mind does equations is that this lucky thing must mean this horrible upcoming thing. And so yes, I'm not walking under any air conditioners in New York City. I don't know how to think about it any other way. And that's really unfortunate, but true.